Hello, and welcome to our third episode of our podcast. Hey, Wes.
Hi, buddy.
I am Jason, the Last Word Slinger.
And I'm Wes the Lost Hatter.
Fantastic. And welcome to, again, the third episode of our podcast, The Dork Report.
Really? That's terrible.
I'm sorry.
I would take last week over that. I hated last week.
Really? You take Geek Chic over Dork Report?
Yes, in a heartbeat. Wow. That is just... Oh, God, what's wrong with you?
Okay. All right.
Terrible writer.
Forget the Dork Report. Yes, we have a lot to talk about tonight in tonight's episode. It's going to be a movie-heavy night.
Yar.
Yeah, we have a lot of movies to talk about. We have our usual game segments, League and Guild Wars. Gonna talk a little bit about Doctor Who, and
we'll ramble about that some, I suppose.
We'll ramble about that some. Well, it was at the request of a listener that we talk about Doctor Who.
We have listeners, so we have to listen to them.
I know we have to, because if we don't,
they'll just yell at us more.
Yeah, if we don't listen to them, they're just gonna get pissed off at us
and yell at us.
And we don't want that.
Well, maybe you don't.
I mean, I don't.
I don't really care.
Okay, well.
I'm just kidding. Don't hate me. Hate Jason.
What? Shut
Nothing.
up. So I guess, and we have our internet personality of the week as well. So I guess we'll start with the movies. Get with the huge movie segment.
Yar.
All right. You go ahead with Despicable Me 2, before I start off with that.
Okay, Despicable Me 2. Despicable Me.
I did not see Despicable Me 2 for the record, so this is going to be, Wes is going to be telling me his thoughts about it.
Well, I mean, obviously it was Steve Carell again. I don't remember any of the other voice actors. I'm terrible at this. What do you want from me?
I swear I recognized one of them, but I just can't not off the top of my head.
It might have been the other female lead.
Yeah, it might have been the other female.
I don't know her name.
We could look it up later.
Yeah, but I thought it was good. It's obviously a kids movie, but it's a decent movie in its own. It's not a terrible sequel. I mean, it could have been better, but it could have been far worse.
Well, I mean, in the world of, sequels to popular movies turning out to be really shitty, I'm assuming you're saying it could have been...
Oh, it could have been terrible.
Could have been god-awful.
It could have been just ridiculous. I mean, it probably wasn't going to be, because admittedly, Steve Carell, he hasn't done a lot of bad work.
Yeah, he really hasn't. He's been in a few very
and he's
few.
Hilarious.
He is. He's a funny guy. I really like.
I see the character grew, and I hear his accent, and I look at Steve Carell, and I'm just like, how do you do that?
I know.
How does that work?
So when I originally saw Despicable Me, way back when with you.
I swear we didn't see it together.
I believe we did, but
Anyway,
we're not gonna debate about this. Or are we?
No, not now.
Are you sure?
Perhaps another time.
What about now?
No.
Now?
No.
Now?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Let's do this.
All right.
You can't see it, but Wes is slapping my hand around.
Yeah, that's not nearly as funny without video.
No, it isn't. But
we should stop. We should avoid that.
Let's not do that again.
Despicable Me.
Despicable Me. I didn't even know it was Steve Carell at first, because I didn't actually do any research in the movie beforehand, and when I was told it was Steve Carell after the fact,
it's just kind of shocking.
it's like that's Steve Carell, really?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't sound like him at all.
Well, I don't know if you felt this way, but for Rise of the Guardians, Alec Baldwin doing North, never would have noticed.
I kind of heard hints of it. Hints of Alec Baldwin,
but not a lot. It was still underplayed.
No, absolutely. I did hear a lot of Chris Pine in.
Well, yes, it's Chris Pine.
Yeah, I heard a lot of Chris Pine and Jack Frost.
Knows who Hugh Jackman is.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was in. Oh yeah, he was the Easter Bunny.
Yes,
you're
terrible.
Derp.
But anyways, Despicable Me 2. I enjoyed it. It's not a terrible movie. Go and see it if you can.
So it would be safe to assume that if you like Despicable Me 1, you recommend...
will enjoy Despicable Me 2.
Okay, so that's a solid recommendation from Wes. Good, cool.
Yeah, I don't know what that's worth though.
Well, I mean, I assume I would enjoy it because I did enjoy Despicable Me 1. It wasn't my favorite movie. I've seen better animated films, but
yeah,
I enjoyed it, so I assume I would enjoy 2 as well. But let's talk about a shitty movie for right now.
Which one are you talking about?
The Lone Ranger.
Oh, God. I didn't see this, so this is all on Jason this time.
And this is going to be awful. Lone Ranger was bad. Bad. So bad. I can't even begin to think where I should describe how bad it is. There are just so many bad things about Lone Ranger. Well, first of all, many people are considering Lone Ranger to be the year's flop. This is like the year's biggest flop so far.
Admittedly, there is still half a year left.
There is still half a year left, and something worse could, in fact, come out. But as far as what we've had so far, yeah, apparently it's a huge flop. Well, okay. Let me just go over a few rundown problems.
I mean, I know I had no desire to see it.
No, I'm telling you now, don't. You'll wait. I didn't even pay to see Lone Ranger, and I still felt cheated. Someone else paid for my ticket, and I still felt cheated. It was too long.
Rough estimate?
2.5 hours.
That is actually really long.
That is really long, and it felt too long. It was even Jim, our roommate, who saw it with me
and enjoyed it apparently,
and enjoyed it for some crazy reason, admitted that there were several points that could have been cut.
Yeah,
there were several things that could have been cut to reduce the time. So it was too long. What else? Well,
I mean, Johnny Depp.
Oh, well, I'll get to that in a second. I'm trying to go over the small points first.
Oh, well, have fun with that.
Yeah, it was too long. There were too many peripheral, useless characters. They could have cut several characters from it. I assume it was trying to go for kind of a comedy action thing, kind of similar to maybe Lethal Weapon 2 or Rush Hour, the Rush Hour movies. I assume it was trying to go for something like that. But the thing about that is that when you have a comedy action film, you have to have a balance of seriousness and comedy. You know, there have to be serious points and comedy. And there was way too much comedy, and specifically a lot of slapstick comedy in this movie, and that just ruined it for me, because literally every fight that happened turned into like a series of punchlines, and I was like, that's not enjoyable to me. I actually want to see the heroes be badass, and you give them very few chances to do that. And now my biggest gripe about Lone Ranger, there were so many things. The ending pissed me off too. The ending made no sense. No logical sense.
I won't know anything about it, and I mean, assuming you don't want to talk spoilers.
Spoilers. I'm saying spoilers now. Jump like 5 minutes ahead from now if you don't want to hear the spoilers. But the ending. The Lone Ranger and Tonto save the day. They defeat all the bad guys. All the bad guys are dead. They completely derail the bad guys' plan entirely. And the Lone Ranger got the girl. And what does he decide to do at the end of the film but continue being the Lone Ranger? And my first thought is, why? There are no bad guys to fight. You beat them all. There's no need for you to be the Lone Ranger. You could literally hang up your mask right now, go and be with your girl, and live a happy life. You fulfilled your purpose. But no, he completely was like, I'm going to continue being the Lone Ranger for absolutely no reason, blah, 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 blah.
I guess under the assumption that there will always be more people to fight or take down.
Well, here's the thing. And I even talked to Jim about this. And this would have set them up for a sequel if it had been a good film. Which there probably won't be a sequel because it flopped. But this could have set them up. He could have stopped being the Lone Ranger and gone to be with the girl, right? And Tonto could have gone, been an Indian on the plains. Whatever, right? Sequel comes up, right? Tonto, being an Indian, scouting around, discovers some new bad guys, right? He goes and visits the Lone Ranger, and he's like, Kimosabi, we need you again. We need you to put on the mask. And he's like, no, man, I gave that life up, but no, such and such shit is happening. We need your help. And he's like, So he begrudgingly returns to the life of the Lone Ranger because he's needed. That would have made, that would have been a much better ending, and it would have been easy to lead into a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
But, so the ending pissed me off, and now my biggest gripe about the Lone Ranger was Johnny Depp. Typically my problem with Johnny Depp as an actor, and don't get me wrong, I like Johnny Depp in a lot of roles. I liked him in Edward Scissorhands. I liked him in...
I enjoyed him in Pirates.
I enjoyed him in Pirates, except that the studio started just doing it too much, and there was never really any growth for his character over 4 movies.
Well, that's because the first 3 movies weren't Captain Jack's movies, they were Will Turner's movies.
Admittedly, but still, I would have liked to have seen some character progression, and there was, none. Because by the end of all the films, he's still the same Captain Jack. But we're not going to talk about Pirates of the Caribbean, that's not what this is about. I liked Johnny Depp in several roles, right? But then there are other roles that I did not like him in. Those are typically the pasty-faced weirdo roles that he plays. The vampire one.
Dark Shadows?
Yeah, Dark Shadows.
I hate Dark Shadows, but I admit it could have been better.
Willy Wonka, My issue is that he always plays the same character, a pale-faced weirdo.
I was gonna go with eccentric, but details.
Weirdo, eccentric, whatever.
Hey man, he was the Hatter.
And here's the thing: he did not play a pale-faced weirdo in this movie. However, he was a white guy playing a Native American, and Johnny Depp's gone on record to say that he was trying to do the Tonto character justice and make it a serious character. But my problem there is twofold. First, you say you're trying to make the Tonto character serious, and he literally just spouts jokes the entire movie. Even in life or death situations, he's always just spouting jokes. And then in the middle of the movie, the writers tried to shoehorn in a tragic backstory for Tonto, which was bullshit. And secondly, Johnny Depp should know better because he was in a film that I really liked called Dead Man, which you haven't seen yet, and you should watch it with me. It's really good. Even Owen Citizen, he did a review of the movie, and he really liked it. But he was in a movie called Dead Man where Johnny Depp played a Western character, a regular Western character, who was slowly dying over the course of the film and being led to his death by a Native American, played by an actual Native American. So it's a little insulting that Johnny Depp was in this film playing this role with this other character, and then completely turns around and plays the Native American character as a white guy.
I didn't see it, so I have to take your word for it. I don't really know, man.
I'm not certain. I'm not saying it. I'm not certain if it was particularly offensive to Native Americans, but it's just an example of Hollywood whitewashing. It was the Avatar movie, the Airbender movie.
What about it?
All the roles of the Asians were played by white people.
Well, of course. Don't you know anything?
But you see my point. It's like why aren't these roles cast ethnically appropriate?
Well, that'd be ridiculous. This is Hollywood.
So overall, I do not give Lone Ranger a pass. I'm not gonna. I could go on for a long time about it, but I'm not going to. Don't go see it. Don't waste your money. Go see something better.
Such as
Pacific Rim.
My God, it was amazing.
Oh, by the way, everyone, it's Wes's birthday at the time of this recording.
I hate you too.
How old are you today, Wes?
Old enough.
That means he's 18.
What? No. Are you telling me that my girlfriend is a rapist?
Yes.
Wow, that's awkward.
Yep. What are you doing over there?
Anything I want.
Oh,
for my birthday.
That's true. I can't tell you not to do it.
Suck it.
We saw Pacific Rim tonight. Both of us, and
yes.
a crap ton of other people. We
saw
awesome. It was awesome. It was great. I mean, what did you think, Wes? I talked for a while. It's your turn.
It was everything I wanted it to be, and more. It was a movie about giant robots fighting sea monsters, but they went more with it.
Extra-dimensional monsters.
Extra-dimensional sea monsters. But that's what the movie was about. And if you don't enjoy that, don't go see it. You probably won't enjoy it. I mean, there were some cool other parts, but if you don't enjoy giant robots fighting extra-dimensional sea monsters, you are not going to enjoy this at all.
Wes is absolutely right. If that's what you're expecting when you go in, then you will not be disappointed.
Not at all.
My only grief was that there was a period of the movie where there was no giant robots fighting sea monsters. It was after the first fight, and then during that period where they picked him up and brought him to the.
I mean, they had to go through the progression, and then more giant robot fights.
Well, that one gripe that we have where we didn't get to see much of the other mechs.
Yeah.
Right? Well, while they were trying to pick out a partner for him,
they could have the other mechs defending.
Yeah, like a kaiju could have come in, and the other mechs could have been
kaiju, for the record, being giant extra-dimensional sea monster.
Yeah, that's the term
it's a Japanese term for terrible sea monster, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's what the movie uses to. That's what they call the monsters that come through.
And then just also for the record, Jaegers were the giant mechs used to fight the kaijus.
Yeah, both a Japanese term and a German term, respectively.
Yarp.
But, yeah, that would have been a perfect time to show off the awesomeness of the other mechs,
There wasn't much awesome to behold.
There should have been, though. One of them had 3 arms!
I really expected 4. I don't know why.
I don't know why, because there were only 3 pilots.
But it never showed you all 3 pilots at the same time. It only showed you 2 at a time.
Yeah, that was strange. Could they not get like a wide shot of all 3 of them?
I mean, I think they could have done, more. Also, how did that 3-arm thing work?
I was saying that
right hemisphere, left hemisphere, something else.
I was thinking that the last arm should have come from over the back.
Yeah, that would have been way more useful.
And
I mean, it looked so cool.
But then again, since the mechs were generally based on on human anatomy, I don't know how the pilot would have controlled the arm coming from the back, since humans don't have.
He needed a robot arm.
He needed a robot arm in the back. Yeah.
Oh god, that movie was great though.
It was very enjoyable, very enjoyable. I
had a lot of fun with it. I know pretty much everybody I saw it with had a lot of fun with it.
Oh yeah, I had a lot of fun.
So the video game practically makes itself.
It does, and so does Elysium, which we'll probably end up seeing.
Yes, probably.
With Matt Damon.
It's gonna be so terrible.
It'll be. I'm assuming it's gonna be bad, but we could be proven wrong.
We could be.
We we originally thought Pacific Rim would look stupid.
We did, and then saw more trailers, saw the movie, and we're like, oh my god, how did you even do that?
I mean, you can't think too much about a lot of the details of the movie,
like the dragon.
Yeah, like the dragon. Well, here's
quote unquote.
Here's one thing. It's established early on in the movie that the Jaeger program in the military is being discontinued in favor of
building a giant wall.
Building a giant wall to keep the monsters out. But here's my thing. We later on find out the monsters
just walk right on through.
Not only that, but one fucking flew.
Yeah, one of them flew.
Literally almost into space.
And defied pretty much all laws of physics and gravity.
Well, yeah, we're not going to talk about the...
I blame actually extra-dimensional science.
Well, the physics from their world could be different than the physics.
Yeah, it could have bled through.
Yeah, exactly.
We can get into an entire argument about that, but
we're not going to get into that. So yeah, their whole wall defense was completely torn down by the fact
that admittedly, up to that point, I don't think any of them had sprouted wings.
Well, it's still... They could climb over the wall. A wall is not a good...
No, a wall's a terrible defense.
Wall is a terrible defense.
If the entire wall was lined with super awesome cannons and missiles, that'd be one thing.
If the wall was, like, super electrified or, had...
No, that wouldn't do anything long term.
Well, I mean, I know, but it would still, like, maybe stun them or... whatever.
It's just... It was a terrible idea.
But
that was humanity's plan. Let's build a giant wall.
But I liked the science of the, of this world.
Yes, plus I loved the Alice in Wonderland reference.
Oh yeah, you like the Alice in Wonderland?
I love that. Don't chase the rabbit.
Don't chase the rabbit. No, I liked the fact that they established that two or more pilots have to pilot these mechs because a single pilot can't handle the
neural stress.
Yeah, the neural connection to the robot.
Yeah, which I admittedly was very confused originally as to why they had 2 people in all the trailers.
And then
it explained it. It was like, oh, well, that makes perfect sense.
And the movie does a really good job of getting all the information you need out of the way up front. Like they literally have like a couple of minutes of expository bullshit at the beginning of the movie to explain, hey, these are monsters, these are mechs, this is how the mechs work, this is where we're fighting them.
And it was never like too much information or not too little. It was this is the things you needed to know to make this movie good and fun. And that's what it was.
Yeah, and I enjoyed it, and Wes enjoyed it, and we were all around good.
Yeah.
So I guess we both give it a solid recommendation.
Go see it. Go see it as soon as you can if that's what you're into. If it's not what you're into, insults. That's all I've got for you.
Yeah, like my stepmother probably wouldn't. Is the type of person.
Maybe your dad.
My dad probably would get a kick out of it.
My dad would enjoy it. Yeah. I'm sure he would.
But yeah, if you're into like the actions with the monsters, robots, definitely go see it.
Yar.
So I guess we should talk about Doctor Who since people have requested it.
Yes, peoples.
You know what I really noticed?
Eh?
I really noticed. I was rewatching some David Tennant with my friend today,
yeah.
And there was a line that I really didn't think about that much until now that I've seen all of the current stuff, right? And it was when he first met Donna when she was getting married.
Yeah.
The Runaway Bride episode.
Yeah. Good times.
And at the end, she was like, "Don't you have somebody to go with you?" And he's like, "No, I'm good by myself." And she's like, "No, I think you need somebody there to stop you." and he gets this look, and David Tennant gets this look on his face. Like he's acting obviously, but the doctor gets this look on his face, and I think that he's considering how nice it would have been to have somebody to stop him during the Time War.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think about that now,
I was just like, yeah, that would have been really nice.
Because of all the stuff that's happened in the most recent season and leading up to the anniversary.
Yeah, the 50th.
Yeah, with John Hurt. By the way,
still no information about that?
Huh?
Still no information about that?
No, nothing about that. Of course not. Stephen Moffat's not going to leak shit like that.
No. Still sad to see Matt Smith go.
And Matt Smith is in fact leaving.
And they still have not announced who's replacing him.
Well, they're not going to do that either.
I want to know.
Yeah, but believe it or not, BBC and the Doctor Who people are really, really good about...
Oh, no, I'm sure they're great about policing their stuff.
Yeah, they're really good about keeping the lid on information like that. Like if they don't want you to know, you're not going to know.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't think we're going to find out who the replacement is until the regeneration.
Yeah, until it happens. It's gonna be incredibly depressing.
It's gonna be very depressing. I
wonder if we'll get some more Whiplash.
It's gonna be the Christmas episode too. So the Christmas episode itself might just...
No, is it the Christmas episode or is it the 50th anniversary counting as the Christmas episode?
No. It's two separate things. It's the 50th anniversary and then the Christmas episode.
Okay, so he's regenning in the Christmas episode.
Yeah, he's doing the 50th and the Christmas, and then he's probably regenning at the end of the Christmas episode.
Okay, I was worried he might be regenning in the 50th.
No. Well, I don't know. Stephen Moffat's been known to pull the wool over our eyes before.
Don't worry, it's K.
Stephen Moffat makes you cry by Stephen Moffat.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was our obligatory Doctor Who segment because I don't know what else we're gonna ramble about with that.
That was for you, Kayla,
and other people who may request Doctor Who.
Yeah. Well, we could talk about more. There's kind of not a lot to talk about Doctor Who
until the 50th happens. We don't really have anything to ramble about.
And we definitely are going to talk about the 50th when it happens.
And in the Christmas episode when it happens.
Yeah, but until then,
there's really not anything we can do. So we're gonna postpone the Doctor Who segment.
Yeah, we try to generally talk about more current or stuff that's happening at the time,
Yeah.
So, Video Game High School.
Yeah, that was great. I loved that. That was way better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be cheesy and ridiculous.
You saw the actual miniseries version, and I saw the movie made,
which was the
miniseries, but just edited together into a full movie. But essentially, the premise is that they're in this fictional world,
which is an amazing world.
Video gamers are actually well respected. The better you are at a game, the more well respected you are.
To be the world champion is effectively to be one of the most respected people on the planet.
And there is in fact an entire high school dedicated to
an elite high school
dedicated to training the best gamers that there are to be better.
Yeah.
You can't just go to this high school. You have to actually be invited by the school. And that's what the premise of the main character is. He actually
gets really, really lucky. There was some skill involved,
I don't know if he was really lucky. He is shown to have some skill.
No, he's very, very skilled. But that moment, getting that exact timing of while he was looking away.
The main character is a first-person shooter player, and he gets a kill on the greatest first-person shooner player.
He's just generally good.
Yeah.
He's just really good at everything.
Yeah, no, in the context, he's known best for
first-person shooters. Don't get me wrong. He's pretty much an omnipotent god inside of them.
Yeah, and the main character gets a lucky kill on the first-person shooter god guy, and he's invited to the high school because of this.
And life becomes hell.
He faces difficulty trying to prove himself at the high school.
Not as just some one-shot luck kid.
Yeah, not as just some one-shot luck kid. And then his friends have stories of their own mainly his
mainly Ted, yeah.
Mainly
really
Ted.
Was a support character, but it looks like she'll get some more stuff next season.
Yeah, well, that would be nice.
Actually, next season's supposed to start really soon.
We'll recommend watching the first season and then looking out for the second season. But main character's best friend has his own storyline as well.
Yeah, involving his dad and all that.
Yeah, and that involves Guitar Hero playing. So that's
drifting
and racing gaming as well. So what I'd really like to see next season? I'd like to see some more RPG.
Yeah, no, I saw RPG elements in the next season.
Oh, good. I'd like to see some of that.
I also saw one-on-one fighter.
One-on-one fighter?
One-on-one fighter.
Well, we saw a little bit of that in the first one. Yeah.
But only as like that. But I saw like the character with the gi on and everything, just like we're gonna throw down now.
Oh god. That's
awesome.
That's exciting.
I also saw the main character in a full suit of armor. It
Nice.
looks really cool.
Well, and for anybody that's fans of YouTube stars, this was made by
Freddie Wong.
Freddie Wong. He has his own YouTube channel. I have no idea what it is, but
Apparently, it's really good though.
you could probably just search Freddie Wong and find him.
Most likely, yeah.
But it's also populated by a lot of internet stars. Law was an internet star.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's on I think you can see him on 5-second films. Actually, I think
I'm not sure. I've honestly not. I couldn't place most of the main
I
characters.
think he was from 5-second films, and I'll show you some so you can verify for me. But I really think he's from that.
Okay.
Actually, I think he's the shut the fuck up guy.
It might be. We'll have to take a look at it.
I mean,
That's literally no context for the viewers. We'll explain that another day, perhaps.
well, yeah, we'll talk about 5-second films at a future time. But Harley from Epic Mealtime.
Yeah, no, he was clearly Calhoun.
Yeah.
God, I love
The
Calhoun.
principal of the high school was played by Harley from Epic Mealtime. So if you know
And
Epic,
he's just a terrible person.
so if you like
I
internet,
really hate that kid.
I really hate that kid. I like how he respected his argument at the end.
But he's still, oh god,
I hate that guy. So it was enjoyable. Definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Wes's recommendation that I check that out. He was away for a week, which is why we didn't record. He was checking out his parents, and then when I saw him, he was like, "Oh, you got to watch this, man. I think you'll like it."
And you did, clearly.
I did. It was fun. So I think that's pretty much. We can talk about Fine Brothers next time. We'll skip.
We're running a little long as it is.
All right, so we'll do our video game segments. I'll go ahead with Guild Wars, and then you can do League, or would you like to go first?
My league actually is pretty short this time. I don't have a lot of really big news. We finally got the confirmed stuff for Lucian the Purifier. He's the new character. He's a gunslinger inquisitor.
Yeah, the one I was excited about.
Yeah, he actually... a lot of racial jokes have come out, though, because he's a black guy that's really good at running and shooting.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's to be expected. It is the internet.
I know, and I mean, it's terrible, but he's a black guy who's gunslinger, so he's...
That's
Yeah.
what I wanted to talk to you about when you're done.
Okay, so yeah, but he's coming out soon, probably within the next patch or two, and we also have Udyr's new skin out for Udyr's Spirit Guide, I think it is. I might have that completely wrong. I don't know off the top of my head, but his new super legendary skin is out, and it's expensive but it looks really cool if you're an Udyr player. I might pick it up anyways and then learn how to play Udyr. Won't be the first time, and I'm a terrible person. But anyways, that's pretty much all I've got for League.
Speaking of League,
Yeah.
I saw some news before I get into Guild Wars that I thought was pretty interesting.
Uh-huh.
Video games becoming a new Olympic sport, specifically League.
Really?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, it was specifically League and StarCraft 2.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's just rumors right now. Nothing confirmed yet. But
If it gets confirmed, gamers one step higher.
you see, here's my concern, though.
No one will take it seriously?
Not that.
Oh, because that's what I would be.
Well,
concerned.
I think what my concern will actually lead into that.
Okay, well, go ahead.
My concern is that the Olympics are really all about sportsmanship.
Ah.
That's what it's about.
I'd like to point out, League has, like, the most terrible online player base in existence.
I think I'm going to have to trump you with Call of Duty, and I specifically am concerned about this because I watched a video of a professional Call of Duty match between two teams that were in the same room on opposite sides of each other, and the amount of swearing and yelling at each other was just through the roof.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the simple fact of there are just so many terrible people who play League. Or just people who are completely selfish, that, don't care about anybody else in the group. I got randomly picked into this team. I don't know anybody else here. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to screw over the entire team so I can do my thing, and we're going to lose because of it.
You see, you as a player would know more about that than me, but that's also another good point, because if you're going to do well, you have to work as a team, I would assume.
There are professional, very, very good teams that have established roles and all of that. And that's a completely different thing. But if you go into League as just a random dude and you don't have a team, and...
Well, I would assume the random players wouldn't even get accepted into the Olympics anyway.
You need a team.
But I would assume that the more professional teams would, if it becomes a sport, they would be the ones competing, not random Joe Schmo that gets,
No, I mean, he might earn his way in. but that would be completely different.
Yeah.
And kind of silly still.
But you see my concern, though, about the cursing and everything.
Oh, yeah, no. StarCraft players and League players, oh, they're terrible people.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And I can only imagine if the first-person shooters ever get... Oh, my God.
I honestly think they should have their own separate thing, kind of like more towards the VGA awards and not...
Well, they do.
the
I mean, there are the video game...
Oh, no, there are the world-class video game tournaments.
Yeah, there are
I'm
the world-class
sure there
video
are.
game tournaments, and you know, video game sports is its own thing. As a matter of fact, Guild Wars PvP just got accepted into video game sports now.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, it's an esport now, so it's up there with like Call of Duty and everything.
Yeah, no, that's actually really cool.
But that's my concern, and I'm willing to see how it pans out. Like, they might implement some rules, like, you know, you can't curse.
We'll see. Honestly, again, I don't know how the rest of the world would take it that isn't a gamer.
Yeah, they might look down upon it like, why is this here? But more breaking news on that if it develops any further.
Which is kind of unlikely, but might happen. Who knows?
All right, we're running out of time, so I'll wrap it up with Guild Wars really quick.
Okay.
Right now, Bazaar of the Four Winds is happening. It's this month's event. It's going on for another, I think, 2 weeks. It's been out for about 2 weeks now. Basically, it's a brand new area, only here for the duration of the event. The new area has all kinds of fun activities. It has like 2 mini games. It has a scavenger hunt activity. All kinds of brand new achievements. Cool rewards, cool weapon skins, all kinds of really cool stuff that you're looking for. And this patch also brings about achievement rewards. So all those achievement points you've been accumulating during your time playing Guild Wars actually will get you stuff now. And for those of you that have accumulated a lot up to this point, don't think you're screwed, because ANET retroactively awards any points that you've acquired up to this point. So let's say you have 5,000 achievement points. They will every day award you the next level achievement reward until you are caught up.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it is. And the rewards are really nice, by the way. It's gold, laurels for the laurel vendors when you do your dailies and everything, weapon skins, armor skins, chests full of stuff that you can get in Black Lion chests, and a permanent boost as well, like to Magic Find, Gold, Experience, all that good stuff. So really, now's a good time to jump in, check out Guild Wars, start leveling up your characters, and get that stuff done. And that's, I think, all we've got for this week.
We're actually running a little over as it is.
We're running a little over.
Movies.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about with movies. Next week, I think we're going to try and talk about the Fine Brothers.
I might have some stuff about a video game or two. We'll see what I can find.
Yep, and we're going to do our usual League and Guild Wars, and whatever else we can think of.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got. So, I'm Wes the Lost Hatter.
And I'm Jason, the Last Word Slinger, and you guys have a good night.
Yarr.